Our last comedian, our last graduate coming up tonight, says you might recognize him from his appearance on Only Murders in the House. He's the guy getting the tattoo, or Saturday Night Live as the chest pump guy. Please welcome the world's most unrecognizable extra, Craig Pollack.
Thanks, Paul. You know, you could have just said, white guy that can't fuck on command. That you know, before I get into it, I just want to say, you know, this is not easy being up here. And I want, if you could just give everybody a round of applause. I want to especially call out Jacob and Andy, because, like I said, it's not easy getting up here, no matter what age you are. It really takes a lot of balls. And they're going to appreciate that when theirs drop. So I've been working from home for the past 18 months, and my office sent over a new laptop for me. And I don't know, I'm a little confused about it because on my home network, I can't use it to access Facebook, but when I open Google Chrome, it opens to lesbianmidgetfuckers.com. Yeah. I'm not sure if that was an IT mistake or if that's part of HR's inclusive and diversity initiative. You know, I've been doing the same thing as Lee. Remember Lee from about 3 hours ago? I've been doing the same thing as him and surfing the online dating apps. And I gotta ask you, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I see that there are a lot of single mothers on those sites, and they all describe their kids as amazing. I don't know about that. I mean, if there's so many amazing kids out there, why is the world so fucked up? You know, I mean, I really want honesty, ladies. I want honesty. I want to see a profile that says, you know, mother of a miserable, pain-in-the-ass dumbass that ruined my life, looking to meet a guy that knows how to fix problems and make it look like an accident, enjoys long walks in the woods, knives, guns, and if you own a shovel and a bag of lime, that's a plus. No, I've been going on, actually I've been looking at military veteran websites, dating sites, because I'm a veteran, and I figure it's good. I figure it's good to meet someone with the same kind of interests and background and all that. So I found this one site. It's called militarycupid.com. And I started talking to this woman. She was an Army pilot and in Afghanistan. And we're talking, and we were really hitting it off. But she got real serious. And she said, you know, listen, my chopper went down in Kabul, and I'm paralyzed. I have no feeling from the waist down. Is that going to be a problem for you? I'm like, wait, a woman that can't run away? That's the dream. So she's like, you know, well, what's your handicap? And I said, 28. I'm great in the long game, but my short game, no putt control. She's like, no, idiot. Were you injured? Were you injured when you were in? I'm like, well, you know, I can't lie to her. So I said, you know, I did get this really wicked paper cut back in Okinawa in '91. No, seriously, man. To this day, I still don't get full extension on my pinky. So she was like, you know, it's not going to work out. And I'm like, why? She's like, because no matter what you say, I'm never going to believe that you're trying to use me for sex and not the parking space. So the next woman I started talking to, she's in the Marine Corps, and I learned something about how to talk to women with her. Because I learned that if you know what to say, you can get away with being as lazy as you want. Because when Sluggo decided she wanted to meet me, she said, you know, what do you want to do on our first date? I said, you know, I think I want you to make the arrangements. I want you to pick out what we're doing, because that way I'll get to know who you are as a person. And she ate this shit up. All I had to do was show up on time. It's about an hour after we talked, I get this email from her, and I'm reading it, and it looked like a set of orders. Honestly, I didn't know if I was getting laid or deployed. So she wanted to keep things simple, just a simple dinner at her place, and then we'll watch a movie. Be there, 7:30. Okay. So I got there, and after doing the 50 push-ups I had to do because I was late, it wasn't my fault, and I tried to explain it to her, and that cost me another 25 push-ups because I told her I stopped to get a bottle of Merlot, and she said, "No, you moron, you should have known. Zinfandel goes, it pairs better with field rations." So we eat dinner, and after I did KP, which for those of you that don't know was doing the dishes, cleaning the living room, vacuuming, all that stuff, we sit down to watch a movie, and she picked out one of her favorite romances, which was Heartbreak Ridge. It was a little tough for me to watch because, you know, Clint Eastwood reminds me of my mother. Halfway through, she started crying, and I'm like, looking at her, I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, yeah, I always get choked up when Profile takes the bullet. So, I'm like, okay, I can understand that. It's a very emotional movie. And then she ordered me into the bedroom. I was like, okay, things are going my way after all. We get in there, and she says, "Listen, I expect from you for the next 2 hours a very vigorous and spirited engagement." And I was like, oh shit, now I got to adapt and overcome. And by adapt and overcome, it means I blew my load in 10 minutes, and for the next hour and 50 minutes, I vigorously cried. I spiritedly begged for forgiveness. So, unfortunately, that didn't work out. You know what? I don't want to talk about dating anymore. I want to talk about honesty. As I said before, honesty. Not just in life, but in death. Because I have been to too many funerals where all of a sudden, the person that died, who was an asshole in life, is now a saint. Right? I went to a funeral last year for this guy that I was an acquaintance of, and the guy's his friend is up on the pulpit giving the eulogy. He's like, "You know, Rocco was a saint. He was a saint. No, Rocco was a contract killer for the mob. He was not a fucking saint. He just got out of jail. Right? That is not a saint. No, I don't like that. I had to go to one another funeral. I swear this was going to be my last funeral. It was for my uncle. It was in Florida because we're Jewish and that's where we go to die. And I'll tell you what, you love us or hate us, we're honest. At least we're honest, right? I got some lawnsmen in the house, right? All right, we're honest. My uncle's friend of I don't know, 100 years, however old he was, gets up there and he looks at the coffin. He looks out at the temple and he says, "Moshe was a putz and a freeloader. Back in 1953, he came to me and said, 'Sidney, can I borrow $10 to take Yed out for a nice meal for dinner and a date?' I said, $10? What are you taking it to the Catskills for the weekend? I'll give you $5, but you got to give it back to me in 2 weeks." He said, 2 weeks? Okay, I can give you back in 2 weeks. I said, "You got it? I'm not kidding, Moshe, 2 weeks. I need the money back in 2 weeks." He said, he swore up and down, "I give you 2 weeks. I'll come back to you." 68 years. Every time I see him, I say, "Moshe, you got my $5? He says, "Sidney, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Now he's dead and I'm out $5. You son of a bitch, you should rot in hell. Please. My deepest condolences to the family. So after the funeral, we're outside getting into the cars to go to the cemetery. He walks up to me, grabs me by, I feel this tug on my jacket. I turn around, it's Sidney. He's like, "Craig, well, you know your Uncle Moish, he always used to say such nice things about you. About how you're so responsible and you take responsibility for debt. So maybe, you can take responsibility for his debt and honor him by giving me the $5. I said, "Sidney, I'll tell you what. I'll see you in 2 weeks." Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. But before I go, I just want to say thank you again for coming out. And Noelle?
Yes?
Baby, give me another chance. Come on, sweetheart. I'll take you to a swap meet. I'll buy you some Fendi, some Gucci, knockoffs. One more chance, baby. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Don't believe him, Noel. He already told you he lies.